We have Ray Lambert, and she is actually on the east side following a group of protesters on that side. There was a big demonstration over there earlier in the day, and we have her now. Hannah, can you tell us what the scene is and how big is the group now that the curfew has been in effect now, about 52 minutes?
Right. So it's been a pretty quiet crowd out here in terms of not a lot of disturbances between protesters and police. It did get tense for a while over by 47th and Burnside. There was a heavy police presence, but it did not escalate into anything when curfew began. Right now we're walking on Burnside. We've just passed 31st. We're heading in the direction, heading toward downtown, but of course there's the river between us. The group has largely stayed together. At some point it was definitely in the high hundreds of people. It's a little bit more scattered now. So some subgroups not really sure which direction they're going in, but generally we seem to be heading down Burnside away from East Portland and toward downtown. So we've just been walking with them, not really sure how far they're going to go now. But again, it's been a pretty reserved group, lots of chanting, lots of signs, obviously, but no major disturbances. Around the time that curfew took effect, there was some confusion, a little bit of discussion with officers regarding what was going to happen next, but it ended up not turning into anything that escalated. So yeah, we're still walking down Burnside. There have been a lot of cars honking alongside the protesters. There are a lot of people wearing masks out here because, of course, this is still the time of COVID-19. So people being very responsible about their health. But yeah, still walking. The group ahead has largely stayed together. It seems like we are losing some people as we continue down Burnside.
Yeah, Hannah, and it seems like
yeah,
it seems like some of the cars going by are even in support, holding signs, and you feel like this crowd. Have you heard any word of whether or not they're going to try to meet maybe some of the other demonstrators in downtown Portland in the core? Has anyone did they talk about that in a group setting when they were up in Laurelhurst Park? Was there any talk of what was going to happen tonight?
Nobody. As far as I've heard, nobody has talked about that specifically. While we were over by 47th and Burnside, the crowd seemed to be discussing the possibility of Proud Boys marching toward them from Hawthorne. So far that has not materialized, but it did seem to be causing a little bit of agitation in the crowd. They kind of walked down Burnside farther east and then came back and then went back and forth a few times before ultimately deciding to go in this direction. So not clear if we're meeting up with the other group in downtown, but it seemed like they definitely did not want to meet up with any counter-protesters tonight.
Yeah, but you haven't seen any sign of any counter-protesting. That was just a rumor at this point. Is that safe to say?
It sounds like just a rumor. We've heard it a couple times. No confirmation from police on that point. I think the general consensus over here is that we don't want anyone to meet up and would rather keep the groups separate tonight.
But would you say that it has been peaceful throughout the day, even after the curfew as they've walked? Have you seen any kind of vandalism or anything like that taking place in this particular group on the east side?
I have not witnessed any vandalism tonight, and it did get tense around the time that curfew was going to take place. There were some protesters walking by handing out like tear gas solutions or whatever to wash it out, but they didn't end up needing that. There were those tense moments, but it became clear in the minutes after 8 p.m. that police were not going to escalate the situation. At one point they even walked away from the intersection, not completely pulling back, but just away from there, and the crowd seemed to react very positively to that. At one point they seemed like they were maybe going to advance in the same direction that police had gone, but other protesters said, no, let's not do that, let's maintain some space between them. So even the crowd and the police were maintaining some space at that point. So yeah, no vandalism that I have seen at this point. It's generally been a very calm crowd, as well as we can expect in these situations.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, at one point they
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go
Hannah.
ahead, Wayne.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Hannah, I was just going to say I'm glad you didn't need that eye solution because I think Jennifer Dowling's probably going to need that eye solution downtown. But as you're looking at that crowd as it's walking downtown, do you feel like it's definitely losing some of its size from what you saw earlier? I mean, is it how dramatically smaller is the crowd than say it was at 8 o'clock when the curfew went in effect?
It's definitely lost a lot of people since I've fallen behind a little bit. I can't say exactly how many, but I would estimate anywhere between 25% and half of the crowd has broken off at this point. Again, like I said, it seemed like a lot of people didn't necessarily know where the main crowd was going, so maybe they've decided to go their own way or go home for the night. But yeah, so that crowd is still moving that way, but much, much smaller than it was even just 30 minutes ago.